daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about former First Lady Michele Obama's journey to becoming herself. Plus, indie duo Alexander Jean joins the table to discuss their new single, Waiting for You. But first,
how cute are these baby floats?
Aww.
We are gearing up for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and we're so excited. We have these adorable floats, and we also have the director of the parade coming later this week.
Which is so cool. What a cool job. You get to do that every single year.
I know. I love these. I want to keep that one.
I was going to say, do you guys have a favorite float?
That one.
That one? I want to take that one.
yeah, I really like that new Trolls one that we have in the back, and I really hope I get to keep that one.
Ooh.
If not, I'll just kidnap it.
I don't think they're balloons, though. They're like hard. They look like they could hurt someone.
They almost look like piñatas.
Yeah.
I love the SpongeBob one. Who doesn't love SpongeBob, right?
I know.
Did you guys have a good break? We were gone for a week.
I know.
So good to see your faces.
Missed all of you.
I missed you guys.
Why not? We're done. 2018 People's Choice Awards were last night, featuring some of our favorite celebrities, including a performance from Female Artist of the Year winner Nicki Minaj. The fan-voted award show also honored Spice Girl Victoria Beckham with the Fashion Icon Award and the one and only Melissa McCarthy with the People's Icon Award.
The one and only.
The
Melissa
one
McCarthy.
and only. Did you guys watch?
I have a feeling Victoria Beckham doesn't like that we're referring to her as Spice Girl Victoria
Yeah, she's not, but she did make a reference in her speech, like, I'll tell you what I really want, saying that's what the fans want, but no, she is a fashion designer and her fashion label. This award show is the only award show where you can have, like, the cast of Shadowhunters nominated against Viola Davis and Ellen Pompeo, and those Shadowhunters girl wins. You're like, okay, sure, Shadowhunters. Never seen it.
Again.
Won everything.
Yeah.
I have a dear friend who is on the cast of Shadowhunters. Shout out to Alberta, who has not spoken to me in 6 years.
I got an Alberta too. Again, yeah, not spoken since he became famous.
Again, it's really interesting. It's like these very manufactured award shows where I feel like people are nominated and given awards so that they show up.
100%.
You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it felt like even more
Only the
manufactured.
winners are in the room.
Except the cast of Vanderpump Rules, because they will go whenever they're invited. You know, this is definitely this. You know, the People's Choice Awards, to defend it a bit, has been around for a long time before a lot of the fan-voted award shows, but because there's so many fan-voted award shows, this just seems like NBC, because now it's on E, to E's People's Choice Awards.
Yeah.
It just really like NBC just owns this, and they're gonna just like.
I think being on E makes it cooler though. I think the branding, and I think the first year is like a little rocky. Even some of the camera shot, like I think they got to work out some of the kinks. Maybe like the more they do it, the more fleshed out. Because E is a cool network, and I think it's like more youthful and fun. And it was a shorter show. It was only like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Only 2 hours long.
I mean, versus like the 4 that we sit through for like the Oscars and stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is no Oscars. That is for sure.
That's for sure. And I thought just like Nicki Minaj wasn't at her best. Like she opened it, she was kind of okay. John Legend was good. He's always good. She was fine.
It wasn't a.
It was just okay.
Yeah.
Like Scarlett Johansson won like. And the Avengers won like 3 awards. You're like, okay, like isn't Black Panther? Oh, this was like The Spy Who Dumped Me won Best Comedy over Crazy Rich Asians.
Whoa.
Oh, it was funnier though.
It was
Crazy
really
Rich Asians.
funny.
The Spy, you saw
see it?
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen it.
Oh, I thought it was
hilarious.
funny.
Kate McKinnon was so funny.
She is great in it, but best comedy?
Crazy Rich Asians
funny?
wasn't funny.
It was a romantic comedy.
But it was more like
Oh, Crazy Rich Asians is a
heartfelt.
way better movie than
No,
Spy.
it's a better movie, but
not
it's not
funnier.
I don't
Those are
know.
different
Okay,
things.
oh,
What's funny about it?
that's interesting to judge though, because I mean, technically,
I totally agree with you.
But it wasn't a funny movie to me.
but The Spy Who Dumped Me, I mean, it gets to more of a straight up comedy, but Crazy Rich Asians is still a romantic comedy. It's still, and it's
but
a
it's
better
not
movie.
Funnier.
But it's a better
not
movie.
funnier.
But it's a better movie.
You're making a point, but it's
Right.
not explaining why it's funny.
Because
That's
I
what
believe,
you're
I
doing.
believe, no, I believe the best, because you do best comedy, best drama. The best drama that is not the most dramatic
Well, you know
movie
what?
wins, it's the best movie
Proof
wins.
is
So.
in the pudding.
I actually really enjoyed this Spy Who Dumped Me.
What? Crazy
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I
really
thought they
funny.
were both good. You know what made me laugh? Your tweet about Kris Jenner
Oh.
wearing sunglasses
Yes.
indoors. You were so funny on Twitter last
I
night.
think Kris Jenner, just wearing her sunglasses all the time, she carries herself like she knows when and how you're going to die. Like, just that she had that.
That is funny.
Like, that she just walked with that, like, sunglasses on the whole time, just stood behind the car, just like, I know how, when, where, you will die.
I
So I'm
love
Kris
that.
The
Jenner.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah, basically.
I hope she starts bringing her gun to award shows, because that meme is the best meme, where she's just holding a gun and has sunglasses on. I'm like, I can see that meme all day.
Yeah, and I actually really like the Kardashians using their time to talk about the fires that are devastating California right now, and that was actually a really great speech from Kim to speak on behalf of them and like raise awareness. I think all the celebrities actually did a really good job raising awareness, using their time to.
Yeah, I do love that Mila Kunis, like the moment she got up there, she's like, donate to the LA Fire Department, no matter what. Melissa McCarthy said something. I mean, I think we're seeing like thousands of people being displaced and a lot of people losing their homes. I mean, it's a mess. It's been really sad. So again, Kim Kardashian has consistently kind of like spoken out about things recently that are really important, and it makes me really appreciate that she's using her platform for something positive.
Yeah, and the Champion Award was cool. Brian Stevenson, who runs the Equal Justice Initiative. The John Legend he presented. I didn't know anything about him, but that was very interesting what he does. The museums raising awareness.
How does he do?
Yeah.
It's essentially like, well, he talked a lot about like erasing hate, but raising awareness for like the racism in America and 200 plus years of slavery, plus what's happened since then for African Americans, people of color with the criminal justice and everything. It's really interesting.
But his method for doing it is like, instead of pretending like it didn't happen, let's really focus on it. So one museum is all about lynching. And that's something that a lot of people like to ignore and pretend like didn't happen, but thousands of Black Americans lost their lives that way. So they actually have soil from the trees where people were hung, and they just have a wall of these mason jars filled with soil to like drive the point home to be like, we can't ignore these parts of our history. We need to acknowledge them, learn from them. You know what I mean? So it's a really powerful message, and there's 2 different museums.
Very interesting award show. People's Choice Awards, really with a lot.
It's a real mixed bag. It was a real mixed bag.
As someone who didn't watch, I'm so confused about what we're talking about.
It was such a ride.
Oh my God.
Well, one person that always wins every award for us is Michele Obama. And Michele Obama is telling all now. The former First Lady sat down with Good Morning America anchor Robin Roberts last night ahead of the release of her new book, Becoming. The interview saw the 2 discuss Obama's marriage with former President Barack Obama, her journey to motherhood, and other difficult moments in her life. Let's take a look.
You write about at one point in your marriage that you and Barack went to marriage counseling. Why did you think it was important to share that?
For those young people out there who think that marriage is supposed to be easy, and marriage counseling for us was one of those ways where we learned how to talk out our differences. What I learned about myself was that my happiness was up to me, and I started working out more. I started asking for help, not just from him, but from other people. I stopped feeling guilty. It's important for me to take care of myself. That's not on Barack. I know too many young couples who struggle and think that somehow there's something wrong with them. And I want them to know that Michele and Barack Obama, who have a phenomenal marriage and who love each other, we work on our marriage and we get help with our marriage when we need it.
The interview was really, really great, right?
Amazing.
I mean, how much do we love her?
I mean, it's so nice to hear her be able to speak more honestly too, because it just helps. I feel like it makes me feel better about what I'm experiencing, and whenever she speaks, I just feel taken care of. I really do feel safer.
And that was a big part of it. You know, she really spoke about, her and former President Barack Obama went to marriage counseling. She had struggled to get pregnant, had a miscarriage, had to go through IVF to have Malia and Sasha. And she really literally said, this is so young people, young women, young couples know, like, we aren't perfect, I'm not perfect, and it's okay to talk about it, which I found really powerful.
The miscarriage piece, I think, was super, super important, because there's so much shame for women. And I think to have one of the most powerful, bold, confident women say, in that moment, I felt like I did something wrong or I wasn't enough. I think that's so important, because so many of our friends and family struggle with fertility. But I think to see a woman like her be like, you're not broken, it's okay, we can get through this, was... I think, again, she continues to move the dial on issues that a lot of people ignore.
Yeah, also just hearing from her talking about Donald Trump for the first time, because they've been so careful about what to say, and the country's been in such a fragile state. To finally hear, some of her anger, I was glad to hear that she was upset and not okay with it, because you kind of want to hear that from people who are sane, because everything is going on, and it's difficult when no one is giving is validating how insane things are.
Even when she was saying she stopped smiling during the inauguration,
I love
little
that.
things like that people had picked out, but the fact that she commented on it, you're right, is really
because I think when she puts into context her relationship with him, especially because through the birther conspiracy, and really thinking how that put even more so the lives of her husband and her children in danger, because he was really enabling these wingnuts and kooks, she called them, to try to kill President Obama and or her children. So it kind of puts into context now in 2016 when she really says, like, I was really trying to convey dignity to the American public and why we should not vote for this man and vote for who she says one of the most qualified candidates ever, and looking at why women voted for misogynists over Hillary. And
after the tapes.
After the tapes and everything. And also, like, she just really, like, she, like, points out things. So, like, in that, remember that second debate when that town hall and Trump was, like, following Hillary?
Yes.
And, like, it was clear he was trying to diminish her presence. Like, he was trying to, like, minimize Hillary Clinton. And she just offers such incredible perspective from someone who's been so involved and will continue to be. So, yeah, like you said.
That was a daunting clip.
Horrible. He was just
when he was hovering over her.
When they use like the Halloween scary music and like dun 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 dun. Yeah, he is a psycho killer.
And it's amazing because in Hillary's book, she said she wanted to turn around and go back off you, creep. Like, what are you doing? That's Hillary Clinton.
And I wish she would have.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? She was like, "Yo, can you back up?"
What was the fear that if she did that?
Because she would be like, Hillary's unstable.
Yeah,
but it was so obviously not okay.
But that's the thing. And the next woman candidate hopefully will be able to, like, you know what? Back off.
Seriously, give me some space.
Yeah, but I just thought Michelle Obama was so honest. Like, in a really powerful portion of the interview is when she talks about going to Princeton and it being the first time, like, being a predominantly white space where all these people went to prep school and, you know, she grew up in the South Side. And they show this clip of women of color going to Princeton now, and it's like she almost starts crying, and it's really amazing and personal.
I think for so long, Michelle Obama was put in that box, and so was President Obama, where they couldn't discuss their race. And their race was a huge part of his candidacy and his role as president, but they always had to shy away from it so they wouldn't make everything a black issue. So now she's able to actually talk about her experience and the difficulty she faced in. It's something, again, that a lot of people want you could see, but it's nice for her to acknowledge, like, yeah, those times were hard, and yeah, I appreciate that now I'm a role model for black women, but it hasn't been easy. You know, I think that's, I don't know, she's just a gem.
And their love story's so, like, cute. Like, so she was, like, she's younger than him, but she was his superior at the law firm. He was like a junior associate or something like that, and he was just like a first-year law student or whatever. And like he comes in late one day, and she's like, "Who's this Barack Obama coming in late?" And eventually, like they kind of like she was like, "I'm not going to date one of the only black young associates at the law firm." But then they start kind of going out as friends, and he's like keeps pushing like, you know, we like each other. Like, and then the rest is history. It's so cute.
Can you imagine Barack Obama on a date?
Oh my God.
I do it every night. I'm like, oh, he pulled out my chair. And
he's smooth for sure.
So chivalrous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So remember in some of his speeches, he would just like sing a line of a song. Oh. How great that was.
That's all he had to do, and everybody was like,
That's all he did. That's all he did.
Was that a scarf?
That was a bra.
That was a bra.
I was like, you're so proper. And you were like, I take off my scarf. Here.
Take my ascot, Barack. We love them.
Trump could never sing during a press conference.
Oh my God.
No, are you kidding? He has one of the greatest voices of all time. Best voice. So deep and so good and smooth.
He would be like, move, bitch, get out the way. And everyone would be like,
I would love it. That is his karaoke song.
A move, a bitch, get out the way.
Okay. Oh, that'd be great, because do you remember when we were all protesting in the streets, and that was like the best protest chant, I felt like?
Was that it? What
it was like, move, Trump, get out the way, get out the way, bitch, and everybody got like excited. And there's so much just like booty shaking in the protesting. It's really just a party.
And speaking that, it's a little off topic, but it's kind of funny. During his just crazy press comments last week, this one reporter's asking like, if he said any racist in The Apprentice stuff, which he did.
Obviously.
Like, Lil Jon once said, you said this, and he goes, I don't know who Lil Jon is. And they're like, what a second, Lil Jon? He was on your show. How insulting to Lil Jon. Lil Jon deserves to be disrespected like that.
Lil Jon was on his show?
Yeah, he was on The Apprentice.
But then after they go, he was on your show, he was like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, he
always says, he goes, I don't know who that is. Yeah. And they say, you know who that is.
Like, this is you standing next to him.
But he might not know who they are.
I just had such a grandma retell. I was like, they say you don't know, and he says I don't know, and they know, he knows. Okay, Macy says.
And we know they know.
Well, now it is time for our guests. Alexander Jean is a musical indie group featuring the husband and wife duo of dancer and choreographer Mark Ballas and singer-songwriter BC Jean. The duo recently dropped their newest single, Waiting for You, which is now streaming on all platforms. Please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Mark Ballas and BC Jean.
Lucas, nice to meet you. Hey, Lucas, nice to meet you.
We're good.
Good. So tell us about your new single, Waiting for You.
Well, it's more of a personal, I mean, we always have this, I think all of our music is very raw and honest, but this one even goes a little bit deeper. It's very truthful about the past, where we've been, failed relationships, to when we met, and growing together in love.
Yeah, and
as cheesy as it sounds.
We would always say, we had so many mutual friends before we got together, and we used to hang out at all the same places. And we used to always like kind of have this joke. How many times was I like at the ATM or you were at the bar? Or how many times did I go to the table like and say hi to a friend and you were sat there, and we missed each other so many times. And
parallel lives.
Yeah, throughout the song we kind of talk about things we went through like that were rough. Like, I think that we all go through in relationships, and kind of the punchline is, who knew this whole time that I was waiting for you. Oh, wow. And I mean the opening line is kind of a head turner.
We listened to it this morning, and we were like, "Oh, is this for real?
Oh, is that true?"
Did you see the music video?
It's true.
Yeah, you have to check it out. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now. You guys are barely wearing clothes on my mind.
What was that like to shoot with like people around?
Well, oddly enough, that part was fine. Okay. But as much chemistry as we have in life, and on stage, off stage, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, wherever, like we're not like that. That's not what I meant.
In the kitchen.
That's okay.
Well,
it's okay.
No, she's saving herself.
We're like, well, no, we're married now. But we were fighting all day. It was actually a really high tension. We wanted to murder each other. It was a brutal day. It was really tough. We were stressed.
The AC
we barely
went out.
There was no AC. The fog machine broke. We had one day. We're independent. We're paying for everything ourselves. So we were just like, by the end of the day. And then I hadn't eaten because, you saw what I was wearing. So I was like, take me to In-N-Out right now by the end of the shoot. But it turned out beautiful. So
at the end, I was like, man, I hope we got it. But like the heat kind of worked.
It worked.
So
the tension worked.
It was exciting. Yeah.
Every time they said action, we were there.
Yeah. Oh, there you are.
Oh, hi.
There you are. This song is definitely a little darker and sexier than your previous work. So can you tell us a little about that tone shift?
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing about this is that the sonic area, like the music, is a little brighter and a little bit more, it kind of thumps a little harder and hits you in the chest. Yeah. And I think if you were to strip away all the lyrics and kind of like subject matter, you would hear the music and you kind of
it's more fun than what
it's more fun and you would like want to move along to it. But then if you were to just like read the lyrics, as a diary entry, you'd be like, oh, they're talking about some stuff, like some personal stuff. So that was kind of something interesting to us, was kind of the juxtaposition of like having something that hits you kind of hard and makes you feel like groovy and that you want to move, but then you're talking about, real relationship stuff and
stuff people can relate to. Yeah, I would think. I hope we're not alone on this.
Yeah. Going into our past and then going into things that even in our relationship that we're still working on, and things that we as humans are all kind of going through.
Yeah, we both were kind of, I think, a little bit bitter and brokenhearted from past relationships, and we had to become friends and learn to trust each other and learn to trust in love again. And I think that's the end of the message of the whole thing, is having you're human, you're person.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So when did you guys, when was the moment that you realized that you had a musical connection and you could form the band?
We didn't actually write a song. We dated for about 1.5 years before we even wrote a song together, because we were both doing our solo things. And, every once in a while he would play with his band and I would jump on stage and do a cover song with him. And if I ever had a gig, he would play guitar for me. And our friends and fans would always comment. They would say, wow, that moment when you guys were together, that was my favorite part of the show. And it was a constant chemistry thing. So a year and a half in,
it just kind of was part of the show.
Yeah, we're not like, we're a couple, let's be a duo. That wasn't the plan. But Mark called me, he's like, babe, we should really write a song together. So we made it a date night. We sat on the couch, got a bottle of wine, and just the guitar, and did it old school with a pen and paper, just wrote a song from the heart. We didn't want to put ourselves in any sort of box or genre. And the song turned out really authentic and cool, and we weren't expecting that. We weren't expecting anything, really. And it's good if you get writer's block. We know what to do. And then, we sat back and we still took some time. And every time we went and listened to it, we're like, wow, we should go record this. We'd record it. Then we were in the studio and we kept looking at each other. And I'm a tough critic. I'm really hard on myself and songwriting in general. It's hard to please me, I would say. Yeah, and we both looked at each other. We're like, this is special. There's something here. Yeah. So we just continued to write. And over the time and every vacation we'd go on, we realized we just kept getting more and more material, and then we just decided to put out an EP, and then our first song went to #1, and we realized, hey, maybe we're on the right track here. Maybe there's a reason why our solo careers didn't blossom into the way we wanted them to be, because we were supposed to do this together, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
And is that like usually your creative process? Do you guys have a date night, or like how do you separate your time? Do you feel like you might get stuck to the point where you're like, we're always writing and creating music now?
You know, it's funny, like we never, well now we never plan it. I'm more like, hey, let's do this at this time and let's do this. Like I like to have a schedule, you know. But BC's more of a mood ring, we say. So whenever we sit down to like, hey, let's write a song or let's do this, it doesn't usually happen. But like for instance, we'll be.
I want a massage.
I'm always practicing guitar and like playing in the front room, and then she could be cooking and like humming along, or she'll write these little poems and she'll like leave them out and I'll see it, or so it kind of just starts randomly around the house. And
yeah, Mark follows me around with a guitar, literally, and I just ignore him most of the time. And then sometimes when I'm
she'll
not
be in the shower, I'll be like,
I'll be like,
like, are you having a fight? And he's like, this is a great song. Let's write it down.
You know, he's just constantly making guitar riffs and ideas. And then if he hears me singing something, all of a sudden he's got his phone recording me. I'll be in the shower and I just see the phone like,
you're like, this is a grocery list.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but usually when it's unplanned,
that's when we come up with the best material, though.
Yeah. I love that.
And your name, Alexander Jean, that comes from your middle names, right? Which I think is really interesting. So how is that thought process like?
I don't know. We just kind of.
We tried some weird names, and we thought about it when we were like, what should our name be? We wanted it to be like Greek name because we're both Greek, and then no one could pronounce it because it's spelled differently than what it sounds. So I forget how we.
I think where we were is like our IDs were overlapping.
Yeah.
I was handing our IDs to somebody.
Yeah.
And they were overlapping, and it kind of spelled out Alexander.
He's Mark
Jean,
Alexander, I'm BC Jean. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
They're good middle names.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think it would work.
Thank you, parents.
It's
Thank you.
It's still, it's still like an educating process. People get used to the name, and like they'll say to me, "Hey, are you going to be at the Alexander Jean?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
and then they call me Alexander.
I am Alexander.
Yeah. They're like Alexander to me. I'm like, no, that's that's okay though. Whatever. Yeah.
Also, it'd be a really great baby name.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just giving you guys ideas.
Yeah, just throw it out there.
Just like when you're ready.
There you go. There you go.
We're just a talk show that pressures everyone into having babies.
I love
It's
it.
just like our thing.
I love that.
So, Mark, you were in Jersey Boys on Broadway. Congratulations on that. But now you're finishing your run as Charlie Price and Kinky Boots this week.
Yes.
So, what has that been like? And also, what has that been like balancing also your musical career?
Yeah, I mean, the song came out, and then we shot the video while I was in rehearsals, and I'm doing 8 shows a week, which is it's tough. It's a hard thing to do, and you have to stay incredibly disciplined, stay on your regiment.
Which he is.
Yeah.
He's very disciplined.
When I'm on something, I'm doing it. So just being very diligent about warming up, warming down, and then also making sure I don't really talk until like 2 or 3, and I eat right, I swim every day. And then also when we've been, we played Rockwood Music Hall last week as well, so we had 8 shows, and then we had our own show.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So I had to really be like, it was awesome, great crowd.
It was great. It was so much fun.
But yeah, just
You
really
don't talk until
focused.
2?
No.
Tries not to.
When do you wake up then?
2. Depends what time we go to bed, but we're night owls.
So do you know you're just like, oh, I can't talk to him?
No, I mean he's not like Celine Dion doesn't talk to Sue, but he definitely has to like has like, but he'll be cautious because you have to be. I mean with that schedule you have to be, or else you don't make it on stage.
Intense.
Yeah, and the shows they're very different in the sense of like with Jersey Boys it's but there's a lot more songs that you're singing. There's like 27 segments of songs, which is a lot, and they're short segments, but all in all you're probably doing 15 full songs. Whereas when you're playing Charlie, you have 2 full songs, and then you sing in like 4 or 5 other segments. But the acting role is just super nonstop.
And talking's actually worse for your voice than
singing.
really?
Oh.
And it's
Yeah,
an
it's a
emotional
breathing
part.
thing.
Like you go on all these like ups and downs. You're like upset, and then you're sad, and then So you have to be really diligent about when you like hit the gas, like in the scenes, because you can like burn yourself out. So you have to be really, really cautious.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
that.
So you're becoming a Broadway pro, but is there any musical roles that you kind of dream of playing?
One of the other ones was to play Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar. I did it in London in a small production.
Yeah.
And but I've always wanted to do it on like the big stage. I went to music and theater college in the UK, and the thought of being on Broadway just seemed so far away. It never seemed realistic to me, and So being able to do it is a huge dream come true. But if Superstar ever came back, I would love to do another stab at
People are watching. Hey.
Or we want to write our own at some point.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, BC, you write, and you write really crazy good songs. Like If I Were a Boy. Sorry, I just when I realized that you wrote If I Were a Boy by Beyonce, I was like, oh my God, you've been doing this for so long.
A long time.
So is it more fun to write now for you guys, or do you still write for other artists
Well,
as well?
If I Were a Boy was written for me. It was I wrote it from a very personal place. It was my first heartbreak. At the time, I was never expecting to be a songwriter for other people. Like, when someone said Beyonce heard the song and wanted to sing, I was like, wait, did Jay-Z break her heart? I didn't understand. I just thought you sang something you meant. You know what I meant? You know what I mean? So at that time, I don't know. It was just, yes, writing for myself is how I always look at it. Even if I am going to session with somebody else, I always have to find a way to connect to it or ask them questions to get to their, now it's a little bit different, but it's much more fun writing with each other because it means so much. It's harder though because I'm really good at writing about heartbreak. So sometimes I'm like, come on, fight with me, do something. Sometimes I have to pick a little fight. But
the thing that's great, I mean, we've been in so many sessions together, for our own stuff, and I've seen her working for other people. Is that she is really good at finding a way to ask you a question where it will resonate in a sense that it's easy to identify with and to relate to, and kind of then she can pull from a personal matter and then write it in a non-selfish way so that everyone can kind of relate to it. And,
that's the goal, yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal. Is even if you're writing for another artist, you want to be able to write it in a sense where everyone can be together and feel oh man,
yeah. There's a fine line. There's a fine line of details, but still vague enough where people could make it into their own situation.
Right. So Mark, do you feel like she pulls that out in you then when you're?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely think what's cool is that we balance each other really well. On the musical side and the production side and the sonic side. That's something that I find that fascinating. And I've been I started as a flamenco guitar player at age 9. My dad played flamenco, and that's what kind of got me into it. And then I discovered grunge and rock, and I was in metal bands in school. I had long crazy hair.
Guyliner.
It was definitely a phase. But yeah, I've been playing for so long, and I love that kind of percussive side. So when it gets to the music,
he's more detail oriented.
That's where I get detail oriented.
He hears things that even dogs can't hear. He literally can hear. I'm like, what? He's amazing.
On the lyric side, she just really knows how to dig deep, and it's taught me a lot to kind of reach further down because that's hard sometimes.
Damn, you guys should get married. You guys are giving off serious rock star vibes too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're super cool. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
We're Alice and BCG, and you can listen to Alexander Jean's newest single, Waiting for You, on all music platforms. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.